Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years, and today we're gonna talk about Long Walk to Freedom, the autobiography of Nelson Mandela by Nelson Mandela. Nelson Raleigh Holland Mandela was born July 18, 1918 and died December 5, 2013, was a South African anti-apartheid activist who served as the first president of South Africa from 1994 to 1999. He was the country's first black head of state and the first elected in a fully representative democratic elections. His government focused on dismantling the legacy of apartheid by fostering racial reconciliation. Ideologically an African nationalist and socialist, he served as the president of the African National Congress Party from 1991 to 1997. Mandela was born in the Thembu royal family in Mazu Union of South Africa. He studied law at the University of Fort Hare and the University of Witwatersrand before working as a lawyer in Johannesburg. There he became involved in anti-colonial and African nationalist politics, joining the ANC in 1943 and co-founding his Youth League in 1944. After the National Party and white-only government established apartheid, a system of racial segregation that privileged whites, Mandela and ANC committed themselves to its overthrow. He was appointed president of the ANC Transvaal branch, rising to prominence for its rising to the prominence for his involvement in 1952 Defense Campaign and the 1955 Congress of the People. He was repeatedly arrested for seditious activities or unsuccessfully prosecuted in 1956 treason trial. Long Walk to Freedom, the autobiography of Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela is one of the great moral and political leaders of our time, an international hero whose lifelong dedication to the fight against the racial oppression in South Africa won him the Nobel Peace Prize and the presidency of his country. Since his triumph release in 1990 from more than a quarter century of imprisonment, Mandela has been at the center of the most compelling and inspiring political drama in the world. As the president of African National Congress and head of the South Africa's anti-apartheid movement, he was instrumental in moving the nation forward, a multiracial government and majority rule. He is reserved everywhere as the vital force in the fight for human rights and racial equality. Long Walk to Freedom is his moving and exhilarating autobiography, destined to take its place among the finest memoir of history's greatest figures. Here, for the first time, Nelson Raleigh Holland Mandela tells the extraordinary story of his life, an epic of struggle, a setback, renewed hope, and ultimate triumph. Long Walk to Freedom, Autobiography of Nelson Mandela by Nelson Mandela is highly recommended to read. Do like it, share it, and definitely 10 plus. Merdeka people. Thank you for listening and see you soon.